once again time for me to take a look at the Targa Florio, my somewhat annual look at all things new Targa Florio in sim racing. And Abulzz has been busy once again for another year. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes in development and refinement of these wonderful versions of the Targa Florio. If you're not sure what I'm talking about somehow with the Targa Florio, I've made several different videos over the years talking about the race itself and the different versions that we've had for sims over the years. The Grand Prix Legends version was the first, but then Abulzz, a wonderful modder for Assetto Corsa, and now rFactor 2 has released these incredible versions of the 72-kilometer course, built with real GPS and Lidar data. These are really as close as you can get, or as close as we can get up to this point, to drive this legendary race that ended in the 1970s. Last year I took a look at this version of the course, the always in progress but creeping towards finished version of that Lidar GPS data based version of the course. And up till this point it's been in Assetto Corsa. I did a full lap of that course at slow speed and just talking through the whole lap if you want to go check that out. And I also did a little driving at some point with traffic. It's so much fun in Assetto Corsa. But now, keeping to his word, Abulzz has ported that version over to rFactor 2. Abulzz said that it promised to bring this Targa Florio 1973 version to rFactor 2 from the very beginning, and seeing as though this version of the course might be nearing some sort of completion, he thought it would be time to actually do so. And tonight I got a chance to do a full lap of the 72-kilometer course in a replica of sorts of Nino Vaccarella's 1971 Alfa Romeo 33. This is a cool mod for rFactor 2 from Chief Wig on the sports car mod. I'll try to find the link to it and put it in the description. But I've driven this track now quite a few times in Assetto Corsa, and when I saw the post that Abulzz had brought this version to rFactor 2, but calling it as a 0.0.23 release, a very beta release, I was a bit worried it would be back to the stark road without any scenic objects. But I think Abulzz has downplayed this quite a bit. This is a fairly complete version of this course. It's just missing a few of the spectators and things, which he says is coming at some point. But this is nearly as up to date as the Assetto Corsa version, now brought into rFactor 2 for everybody that enjoys that sim to experience and have fun with. And this is a wonderful addition to rFactor 2. I have so much fun driving all different types of cars in Assetto Corsa, and especially with traffic and things, I think the experience itself is unparalleled. But for as much as I love that, I always have enjoyed the physics of rFactor 2 and how the cars actually feel on the road. And the fact that so much competition in classic cars is done in rFactor 2 at some of the bigger events, having this version of the Targa Florio in rFactor 2 is a dream come true. We did the HRSC race just a couple of months ago now, the Targa Sicilia Rinascita. And that was an incredible event in its second year running, and I'm really hoping for a third. And now that this version of this course exists in rFactor 2, I think it's a match made in heaven, or match made in Sicily, if you will. I hope this version of the track can be competition ready by then. I think it's natural to draw a comparison to that Grand Prix Legends version that was updated for rFactor 2 from S-Victor. It's a wonderful version of the course, and I almost hate comparing them side by side, because it's natural to try to say one is better than the other, or that maybe one supersedes the other. Nothing will ever replace what that original version of this course did for sim racing and classic sim racing as a whole. I don't think we'd have the Abulzz version. In fact, I think Abulzz said that that was such an inspiration, the original version of the course. There's so much to credit for that, but having the tools and things that we have these days to make these hyper-realistic versions of these courses, it's just really incredible to see how far this hobby and these third-party mods have come. Now, naturally, you can see the surface and the road itself on this new Abulzz version of the course is just so much more lifelike and so much more accurate to the real thing. But it is missing a lot of those smaller details, and that doesn't go understated with a course this long. Having all those little objects and buildings and posts different signs and things all in the right spot really make it come alive. And this Abulzz version has come a long way, even since the last time I did a video about it. But there's still details here and there that I wish could be pulled into this version to just really flesh it out and make it complete. The thing that might be crazy though is, as detailed and as extremely accurate as the road is in this new version, Abulzz continues to want to push that further. And with the help of some locals, notably Benny, with some drones and photogrammetry scanning, Abulzz is looking to push this project even further. And they've already actually released back in May what they've called the special stage version of the course, a section of the course that is output on much more accurate Lidar data. And in some ways it's disheartening because it's almost like starting over again with the track being this ribbon through the countryside. But it's elevating things once again, even from this excellent new version that we have now to something that's even more accurate. And with the photogrammetry stuff in the future, who knows what the Targa Florio is going to look like. It's pretty interesting stuff, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. You know, I would have said I was happy with the original version of the Targa Florio, the one for Grand Prix Legends, and especially when rFactor pulled it into rFactor 2, that version that we've had here that I've raced on so many times. I think I've actually only ever competed on that version of the course, and it's been such a delight and so much fun. But now to see it, to see the course, to see the roads with this accuracy is just mind-blowing. And it feels so natural. It's actually easier in ways I've found to do laps around here. The roads just twist and turn a little more like you might expect them to, and I think that's because they really are the real roads. And I can't imagine what the whole thing's going to look like at some point, being based off that super accurate Lidar data and photogrammetry in certain places. Abulzz and team are reconstructing the track as it was in 1973, which was the last year for the World Championship race. So the track is a little different in spots than the 67 version on purpose because some of the roads had changed. I think one of the easiest places to notice this is on the final Buonfornello straight. The highway there is just a lot different, and there's some exit and on-ramps and things like that. There's a huge bridge as well that spans through the countryside that you can see as you approach Campo Felice. Things had progressed a little bit since the 60s. But to take all this data, different maps, photos, some of the details from today, and a lot of it coming from past archival footage, mash it all together and come out with something that's this awesome. It's extremely impressive. So whether you race this in Assetto Corsa or you've got rFactor 2, now we can all enjoy this great version of the Targa Florio. So there's not much more to say than that. I wanted to put together a quick video just to show that this version of the course has now been released and give folks an update on what might be going on in the Targa Florio world. This beta of this track is available at Abulzz Patreon. It is $1 per month donation to get access to it. And so for as little as $1, you could download this and support Abulzz. I always say you could cancel your membership right after if you want, and there's no shame in that. I think any donation for work like this is definitely worth it. But I do hope folks stick around and support them, because a project like this is countless hours of work, I know. But Abulzz says there will be more updates for it. They plan to incorporate some more of the objects and things that might be missing from the Assetto Corsa version. But like I said, other than the spectators, I didn't really notice much that was that different. And most importantly, you'll be funding or supporting some of that future development when we'll see some of that photogrammetry data make its first appearances. It's going to be exciting. So I can't wait until we get to race on this track at some point soon. But until then, and until the next update with the Targa Florio, this is GP Laps, and I'll see you all again later.